Hey guys, Mike here. So today, I'm here to talk to you about The Upside. In this review, I'll be going over a brief summary of the plot, my quick thoughts about the film, and whether or not you guys should go and see it. So I'm going to try and keep this review spoiler-free. However, if you don't know anything about the film and you want to go completely blind, then let's just come back to this video once you've seen the film. So with that, let's get started, shall we?
Just relax! I am relaxed! This is me being relaxed!
So The Upside is based on a true story and stars Bryan Cranston as Philip. You may remember him from Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad. The movie also stars Kevin Hart as Del. You may remember him from Central Intelligence and from Grudge Match. In The Upside, Philip is a multi-millionaire who recently went through an accident that left him paralysed from the neck down. So because of this, he needs to hire someone to pretty much be his arms and legs and pretty much do everything for him. After a handful of applicants, he comes across Del, who, after speaking to him for a couple of minutes, decides to pretty much hire him right there and then. However, though, unfortunately, Del does not have any qualifications or skills to do the job that he's applied for. But despite not being qualified for the job in the slightest, Del still takes the job on head first. And as Philip and Del start to become a lot closer, Del makes Philip see a whole new outlook on life. And so we have The Upside. So my first point about this movie comes with the very first scene, because the movie pretty much starts off with a scene that pretty much happens right at the end of the movie. And with scenes like this, I always wonder, why even have them just, start the movie at the beginning? Don't, show us another scene that's going to happen later on in the movie. It just really doesn't do anything for the movie. It doesn't create kind of any intrigue. I mean, it might do for a better movie, but for this movie, it didn't really do anything except make the film start off feeling quite jarring. But you can actually just pretty much ignore this scene, and after the first 3 or 4 minutes of the movie, that's where it actually starts. So first off, I have to say that Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart work really well together. They have such good chemistry, and the two of them really do play off each other really well. I wouldn't say that one character was particularly funnier than the other one. They both had their different forms of humour, and they played really well off each other. And I tell you what, it was good to see Kevin Hart not being so ridiculously Kevin Hart. I mean, he doesn't stray too far away from what he normally does, but he isn't as in-your-face Kevin Hart as he normally is. He just gives, in my opinion, a really honest-to-God good performance, and it feels like a really human performance as well. And as well, I thought Bryan Cranston pretty much being in a wheelchair and not being able to move for the whole movie would have really taken away from his performance and not made him as charismatic or as entertaining as he normally is. Because, Bryan Cranston is a good physical performer as well, and having the restriction of not being able to move, I thought was going to decrease the quality of his performance. But instead of lowering the quality of his performance, it just heightened all the other aspects of his performance and gave us a really honest-to-God good performance out of him. So, pretty much in a nutshell, Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart go really well together. But as well, it was just so refreshing to watch a funny movie for once. I wouldn't go so far as to say that this was a great comedy, but 9 times out of 10, the jokes just landed and they were really funny as well. And there were a fair few jokes that I didn't actually see coming. I mean, there were these little one-liners that pretty much come out of nowhere, and they just made this film really enjoyable to watch. But as well, I mean, this movie isn't really doing anything particularly new. It's just a nice, charming movie that is, a nice little distraction. Also, just before I actually saw this film, I saw that it was getting just terrible reviews. I mean, look at these. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why this movie was getting such terrible reviews. But then, while I was doing research for this review, I found out that this movie is a remake of a 2011 French movie called The Untouchables. But also, just to clarify, I haven't really seen The Untouchables, but I was thinking, how good can this movie be? How highly thought of is this movie? And then I found out that it's the 40th highest rated movie on IMDb. But also, just because it's 40th on IMDb doesn't necessarily mean that it's the 40th best movie ever. But I would say that it definitely does speak to its quality, and it shows that this movie is very highly thought of and people get very passionate about this movie. But I didn't see The Untouchables, so I can only really go on what I've seen in The Upside. I mean, as well, even after finding out this movie's a remake, I still really enjoyed this film. Overall, guys, Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart are really good in this movie, though the story really isn't anything new, as it's obviously based off a true story and is a remake of a 2011 movie. But, it had all the elements to make an enjoyable movie. It was funny, it was charming, it had heartwarming moments. I don't think there's really much else you can ask for. But now, as for whether or not you guys should go and see it. I imagine if you've seen the original movie, then you probably won't like this movie in the slightest. But if you're like me, and you hadn't seen The Untouchables first, then I'd say, go see this movie. Or even if you have seen The Untouchables, I'd say go watch this movie anyway, because I think you'll have a pretty good time with it. Okay guys, that's my review for The Upside. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? And what's your favourite remake? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. And until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!